is Andy Lipton, and welcome to Leading the Break. This past WNBA season, I had the pleasure of speaking with Curt Miller, then the coach of the Los Angeles Sparks, and now the newly appointed general manager of the Dallas Wings. Curt was very gracious with his time and discussed with me his perspectives and some of the issues related to analytics and statistics. Here is our conversation. Wanted to start with a topic about just how is the data collected? Are there multiple cameras at each game? Does the video feed into a program which interprets the statistics?
Yeah, certainly, there's a wide range of things how data is collected now with the WNBA connected with Second Spectrum. The amount of data that's available in each arena is endless, and you can get lost down the numbers. So it's really exciting that how advanced analytics have now impacted the women's game. We have 3 dedicated interns that are just analytic based. Our assistant GM in our franchise is very much a role in analytics and gives us not only quarterly reports after every 10 games, but individual player reports. I've hired a video coordinator that's not only my video coordinator, but a big part of his responsibility are advanced analytics. So we're really utilizing the data, in LA to drive discussion points with our team. Today was the first day that we truly had a good practice in 2 weeks after coming off a 9-game and 18-day stretch. And our whole start of practice was certainly analytic driven and sharing some statistics of giving them some confidence of areas where we're doing things well, and then areas that are really hurting us and areas for growth while we're in this build situation here in LA.
Looking at some of the definitions, some of them are clear. When a basket is made, obviously that's easy to see, but there are some that seem subjective. One is contested, like 2-point shots. The number of times a defensive player or team closes out and raises a hand to contest a 2-point shot prior to its release. Now, in terms of a closeout, is that further defined in the program? Do you have to be 3 feet away, 2 feet away, 1 foot away? How is that actually defined?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know the actual definition, but certainly contested. And where that's relevant for us to take it, into the analytic field is your shot quality. You want to know if you're getting quality shots. You want to know how many contested shots that you're taking. So shot quality is important. For us, example, as a team that's in a build and our record doesn't indicate necessarily the full picture, we are in the top 4 in a 12-team league. So we're in the top third of the league in shot quality. Means that, the analytics, what you're talking about, those closeouts, those definition of every time we take a shot, they like the shots we're getting here in LA.
Gotcha.
So our shot quality is in the top third in the league. Unfortunately, we're turning that shot quality only into the 8th or 9th best field goal percentage. So what it tells you is we've got to step up and make more open shots, or what the analytic people are saying are quality shots. We've got to step up and make some, because our shot quality says we have a top 4 offensive-based offense, but we're not executing to a finished basket like that shot quality indicates that we should be doing. It would not have years ago, and that's why, part of our conversation today, Andy, was giving us confidence that everybody that we are all the data that we're looking at likes the shots we're getting.
Gotcha.
Compared to the rest of the league. It's a top third of the league, but we're not making enough. So, there's a challenge to go make some of these shots that we're executing to.
The definition of assist, which has been around for ages, a pass that leads to another player making a basket. If I pass you the ball, you dribble for 15 seconds, and then you score, do I get an assist?
Some of that is in the eye of the scorekeeper, but, certainly when I played, showing my age in my mid-50s, if you took more than 2 dribbles, you never got an assist.
Okay.
But now, if that pass led to a basket, even if you had to make somewhat of a move offensively, that pass led to that opportunity. So assists are more broadly rewarded and awarded now.
Let's say you measure someone's shots from the top of the key. And let's say a person takes 3 steps to the left of the top of the key or takes 3 steps to the right. Are they all lumped in as one top of the key shots, or is it really granulated to each different position on that floor?
There's spaces on the floor that are the data is gathered together. So you have your top of the key, probably above your lane lines, extended top of the key. Then you have your wing area, and then like the breakdown. So the break of the 3-point line down to the corners, or more your corner shot.
Right.
So it can get even defined, even more specific, but typically there's your top of your key, there's 2 wing areas, and then your 2 corner areas. So almost like 5 areas behind the 3-point line that are tracked continuously by a lot of the raw analytical data.
Gotcha. See, I would think if you move a player right off his spot a little, even just a little bit, that could affect his shot. That changes his footwork, maybe. That changes his aim.
Things are driven now because of those shot charts. So if a player is much more successful on one side of the floor, are you intentionally game planning, trying to push them to the other side of the floor? It's not just, does someone have, can dribble right or dribble left like the old days. Now, like looking at shot charts, where are they most effective, and can we get them out of those areas is certainly part of the whole scouting these days.
The analytics gives you the data, like you mentioned today. Are they actually making recommendations to you, Curt, or are you interpreting the data yourself to make the recommendations?
There's some organizations and analytic companies that you can, partner with, that as part of their service, they're writing a summary in different areas, and in those summaries there's certainly suggestions. But when you're just looking at the raw data that we look at, or what second spectrum, there's no suggestions suggested or given to the coaching staffs. You're analyzing it, and you're making your own you're making your own assumptions of what that data is really telling you.
Gotcha. Now, you mentioned today you presented different points to the team based on the data that you got. So you're not like giving the team a data dump before every game and letting them kind of look at it themselves. You're kind of filtering it for them in terms of what you think is important.
Absolutely. Because even I, as a 34-year pro, in like 34th year in coaching, can get lost down the numbers. It can become so much. So, just trying to pick out nuggets and things that we think resonate with our players, and also that can help drive conversation. Those are what we're really sharing, not only on ourselves and self-scouting, but like as we start to prepare for our Friday game in Phoenix, what are the analytics that we can share with the team that would resonate with them and drive potentially our scouting report or our game plan for the upcoming game.
Do you find that the information you share sometimes is too much for a player who kind of bogs them down a little bit, thinking too much?
Yeah, we're very conscious of like trying to find a healthy balance of not too much, but giving them some numbers and data that can help understand why the game plan is being set by the coaches. Can it help reinforce why we're doing some of the things we're doing game plan wise?
Can you share maybe 3 what I'll call advanced analytics that maybe the average fan wouldn't be aware of?
Yeah, I think one of the basic ones is PPP, so points per possession now. So when you look at offensive buckets within our playbook, so we have different patterns and different plays, we analyze those plays and those buckets of plays on maybe points per possession. And so what is the outcome when we're using that play? What is it? And so, a good number for reference is something over 1.0. Like, are you getting, 1.0 points per possession every time you call that play? would analyze it as something that can be effective. If it gets under 1.0, you got to start to look at why is this play ineffective. That is a simple one. Gosh, there's so many, but for us, we're a young building team that's had a ton of injuries, so our continuity and chemistry is still building, and therefore we have lots of turnovers. So analytically, advanced analytics, we look at a lot of turnover data and why and when and where we're turning the ball over. Ironically, we're a team in specific LA right now, we're turning the ball over in the first 6 seconds of the shot clock. So, that's an advanced analytic that's discussed with our team. Like, why are we making mistakes very, very early in the shot clock? What are those trends? So that's an analytic that maybe, like people like, gosh, you got to stop turning the ball over. Well, we just don't go into the locker room anymore and say, we got to stop turning the ball over. We try to tell our team, this is when we're turning it over, and why are we turning it over, and can we get that corrected? So, everybody that's the keyboard warriors at home going, do they ever talk about turnovers? Not only do we talk about turnovers, but we talk about turnovers in a very specific way.